Opinions and beliefs are so often formed by regular people, by the news that we watch, by the newspapers we read, by the radio that we hear. All of that information that we encounter on a daily basis, that is what we build our thoughts from. But when that information is tainted, that then leads to people with tainted views on particular subjects that do have bearing in the real world. I genuinely believe that the vast majority of people watching this video right now believe one thing when it comes to race. People who treat others with a different skin color or the amount of melanin found in their skin, if they treat them in a poor manner, if they treat them in a negative light, just because of this, ladies and gentlemen, I really do honestly think that most people think that is absolutely abhorrent. But there's one type of racism that is becoming more and more common and more aggressive. It's very, very strange. And that is racism towards white people. Some people will say that reverse racism, which is racism towards white people, doesn't exist. But the fact remains that the truth is the very opposite. In fact, unfortunately, it's becoming encouraged. Take, for example, Sarah Jeong of the New York Times. In tweets, she said, "It's kind of sick how much joy I get out of being cruel to old white men." Then she said, "Dumbass fucking white people marking up the internet like dogs." Sarah Riao, a Democratic politician from America who has me blocked on Twitter for some reason because I've talked shit about her before. "White people have done everything to make my life miserable, yet I'm supposed to not hate white people." A university professor said that whiteness is most certainly and inevitably terror. Or what about this? Kill all white people. Blasted on the side of a street. White people are fucking trash. She hates white people, so we all do. I would bash white people if given the chance. White people are shit. She hates white people. Is that a bad thing? She hates white people. I could trust her with my life. Why am I showing you all of this shit? I'll tell you why. Because can you imagine the uproar if you change white to any other colour? This is racism, ladies and gentlemen. People will argue until the end of the day that it doesn't exist, but it is right there in front of you. People attacking people because of the colour of their skin, not the content of their character. That is the fucking problem here. Any other colour put into those words is ugly, repugnant, rude, and horrific. And yet, it is just commonplace to say it about white folk. And not all white folk are these dudes in fucking $1 million houses and all that shit. Mate, if you drive in any neighbourhood in any part of America or Australia, there are poor black people, there are poor white people having a shit fucking time. It seems to me that particularly in 2020, when I'm recording this video, the colour of your skin has nothing to do with whether or not you are privileged. That's just the simple fact of it. But if you want to talk shit about white people on any social media, you won't get banned. To quote Biggie Smalls, it's all good, baby, baby. And what I'm about to show you is a segment from a podcast made by Nick Cannon, who's an American TV host. Before he went on this, he went on a mad anti-Semitic rant, but that was just strange. I'm not too sure why he did that. But he did say, and this went viral on Twitter the other day, talking about white people being less than black people and closer to animals.
They're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages. And then they built up such this I don't want to say warrior, but they built up such this conquering, barbaric mentality.
All of this shit is racist, horrible garbage. And it's been championed by popular people like Robin DiAngelo, who wrote White Fragility. It's a bestseller. It's fucking promoted on every single major book site in Australia right now. You go on any of those major gimmicks or whatever it happens to be, that is being promoted. And it is garbage. It is being debunked by so many different people, and yet they're still putting it forward. Why? Because it's popular to do it against white people. All of this is not healthy. All it does is divide and conquer. That is all that's happening right here. White people are becoming the targets for some strange reason, and it is absolutely disgusting. It was as disgusting as when it was black people who were the target, or Asian Asian people who were the target, because it happens to Asian folk too. In Harvard, just last year and the year before that, they weren't letting any more Asian students in. This is racism. Just trying to get quotas of people of different ethnicities up or down, that is racism. What the fuck is going on? And when it's reverse racism against white people, that doesn't make it any less horrible. But according to Vice, it doesn't fucking exist. It's literally impossible to be a racist towards a white person. Is racism not forming an opinion about someone just on the colour of their skin? Then if that is the definition you're going by, then reverse racism is very real. Without a fucking doubt. If you still don't believe it, then click off this video and fuck off, dickhead. I feel like we've proved it already, but I'll just give you this irrefutable proof from an amazing piece from Huffington Post.
So here are some quick and dirty facts on reverse racism. 1. Reverse racism does not exist.
Bullshit, go on.
2. Reverse racism is not real.
This is sounding more like a religion than facts.
3. No, seriously, it's not a thing.
That is definitely not what Martin Luther King Jr. meant when he addressed the nation in his I Have a Dream speech. That is not even close.
If you think about it, reverse racism would actually be kind of great, because it would mean that we lived in a society where all racial groups had equal power. But we don't.
What do you want about, you lispy fuck? Right now, all over newspapers and social media, TV, you are seeing white people being attacked for being white, whether it's verbally or in the Black Lives Matter protests, physically. Now that is not okay. It is not fucking okay to attack anyone, but certainly not someone just because of their skin colour. Christ. What I keep coming back to is if the races were reversed, it would be a horrible injustice. No doubt. And I really do think that it is obvious to anyone with a rational mind that it is just as horrific to do it to anyone, even if they happen to be white. Unfortunately, there are examples in the world today of white people who are being attacked because they are white, and not just attacked on Twitter, okay? People can say whatever they want about white fragility and whiteness and all that shit on Twitter until the cows come home, but in the real world, in places like South Africa, white people are being murdered. Why? Because they are white. And South Africa has a very recent history of horrible racism with apartheid. But the roles have now reversed. And no one is talking about it in the mainstream media. And that's fucking just strange, don't you think? Don't you think that's a little bit strange?
The one bullet went through here. It went through there, through the chair, into the wall there.
In February, armed robbers stormed this farmhouse and opened fire. Estelle Nieuwenhuizen's partner was shot repeatedly at close range.
Farmers right here are being targeted, murdered, attacked because of their skin colour. Now, South Africa, don't get me wrong, the land policies and giving back land to black African people and white African people and all that type of business, that is extremely nuanced, and I'm not going to cover that right now. But what is not nuanced is people being killed because of their skin colour is super fucked up. There is exceeding division across the public of South Africa, and people are being murdered because of that division. Does that not tell you that what we are doing in the Western world is heading down a path of destruction, and the outcome will never be something that's positive? Never.
What is happening in South Africa?
Our people are getting murdered, tortured. Our old people who can't defend themselves are being burned with cooking oil.
Living in fear, attacked, killed, maimed because of their skin colour. This is fucking horrible. Horrible. And for some reason, people on the left labelled this a conspiracy theory. The evidence is there. It is not a conspiracy whatsoever. This is real. Why in the world would you refuse to even slightly look at it? Reverse racism is growing. It's pathetic. And it's very, very dangerous. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, for many people, it's deadly. I don't like leaving videos on a really negative note, but what I will say is it is about time that I introduced something new to the channel, and I'm very excited to do this. It's just a word. It's just a saying. Because back when I first started YouTube, like 2-3 years ago, I said, be a good motherfucker after every video, right? That's my saying. That was my catchphrase, whatever you want to call it. And then I started saying, because people were saying to me in public, I thought, what's the most ridiculous thing I could ask people to say to me in public? I started saying, my dick stinks, right? People started saying my dick stinks to me in public. Even females were saying my dick stinks. It's a strange thing to hear from a female in a crowded place. Anyway, then I started saying fuck you to the moon. People started saying fuck you to the moon. Now it is time to say something else. Ladies and gentlemen, any time in the future that you find something good, wonderful, attractive, beautiful, powerful, it's not any of those things. It is one word. It is moist. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Keep it moist. And I'll see you all very soon. Toodaloo. Au revoir. Bye.